Oh, welcome everyone. Good to be with you all. Yeah, I love that you message me and tell me that you watch this in the morning. So for some people are seeing this in the morning and you sit there and have your cup of tea with this. And other people like me, it's the afternoon, and other people it's night. And some people, they just come out of the movie gathering in Europe, and then they jump into this room straight after that. So it's just amazing that it's all perfect timing for wherever we are. Yeah, so I haven't planned this again, so we're just going along with whatever's happening. But it was interesting because yesterday, all I kept thinking about was Doors of Perception. And I didn't know why. I thought, that's interesting. That was the book of Aldous Huxley. I never read the book, but I just knew he wrote the book. I think it's about psychedelic trips, and he realised that there were many layers to the mind and many doors to be opened to reveal yourself, many doors locked. And so he experimented with psychedelics to help his mind open up. Really, that's what the Course in Miracles is, isn't it? It's a way of opening up the doors that have been locked, that we made a pact with the ego not to undo any of these doors and to stay stuck in time and space. So I was kind of interested yesterday because it was very much in my mind, and then in the evening David chose to show the movie Adjustment Bureau and I thought, oh, there you go, that was it then. And I don't know whether you've seen that movie, but it's all about it's that you can undo doors to change plans. And there's a script. There's a script that's been written, and you cannot change the script. People try and change the script. This is what happens. A guy tries to change the script, and the people behind the script aren't happy about it. So they need to get the script back to plan. And they have different doors that they can use. They can pierce through perception. They can create pathways to get to places quicker and things, so they can change the course of reality. And so this guy, he is very dedicated to wanting things to be in the way that he wants them, because he's met this girl and he really likes her. And the thing is the original plan was that they were to be together, but then due to the plan being changed over time, that they weren't supposed to meet again, and then they meet accidentally, seemingly accidentally, and then that starts another whole game. And so the people behind the doors are trying to catch up with them to keep them apart at all costs. But really, that's all the ego, trying to keep you away from being who you really are. But he's very determined. And so I think that's the beautiful thing about this movie. I recommend seeing it if you haven't seen it, Adjustment Bureau. That the main character, Matt Damon, has a lot of determination. And one of the things that struck me, it didn't strike me last night, but it struck me this morning actually, because I watched the trailer again. And he'd had a lot of deaths in his life when he was younger, and then his dad died, so pretty much he hasn't got his family any longer. And so he was very driven in being a politician. And one thing that we're all looking for, what he was looking for was to feel whole and complete. And the girl plays the part of the Holy Spirit, I guess. She plays the part of that to show him wholeness, because of course it's never in form. The form's not going to show you what's whole, that's for sure. But the mind will. And so he said, you know, of course this was a projection. When I'm with you, I feel whole. But really, you can see that as when I'm with you, when I'm with the Spirit, when I'm with God, I am whole. And I thought, yeah, that's it. We're all looking for that. We're looking to feel whole and complete. And when you're looking for it in the world, you feel very lost because it's not there. You're trying to make something out of nothing because you already are whole. And so you're seeking where it's not. So in order to get to the wholeness, which is what he was looking for, and that was through his determination. That's what I loved. He was so determined. Like, no, I want to feel whole. Actually, that was actually his goal. When now I look back on it, and that's our goal, because in this world of fragmentation, it feels very discontenting at times. Something's missing. But in order to get to that place, we have to undo the doors. And that's what he has to do. He has to undo, he gets trained to use the doors, and then he can slip through passages and save time. Of course, that's what A Course in Miracles is all about, and it's just saving us time. And so the thing is with these perceptions, is that really what happens is you can undo doors that you don't want to look into. That's what the ego tells you, because this is a world of judgment, and your mind is filled with judgment about everything. And you believe your judgments, you believe what you see is real. And that's the big mistake. And believing in your senses. And it was actually good because, you know, in the movie he has to go beyond all of that. He has to take a leap of faith himself because he doesn't know where he's going. And that's the whole point of us. We don't know the way, and we don't know where we're going either. And of course, as we were talking in the movie last night, we're going on a journey where we already are here and now, to the present moment. So that's why there is no journey. It's just simply allowing our mind to rest in the present moment, and from there everything will be revealed. And until we're ready to give up on this chase, we will seemingly be seeking outside of ourselves. But along the way there will be helpful things that will happen, seemingly happen, to shift the mind. And so this girl that comes along helps him shift his mind and see that in actual fact he was calling for love on a much, much deeper level than he thought. And that's what you're doing, and that's what we're joining in today. That's the only reason why we're here, to deeply join in this. Because we are talking about ideas, you can, but it's to be experienced. And there's something much greater going on. So that's what we're dedicating this time to be really, really present. So that's what I'm dedicating my time to right now, is to see what's there in my mind. That's what my prayer was before I started, because I've seen that in sitting in this chair for some unknown reason. This is where I find myself. So we allow up whatever needs to come up and to be seen. And so that's what I see with these doors. And this is what I've been seeing with my own mind, is that doors can be undone that we don't want to see, because there's a lot of doors of judgments perfectly normal to be judging. That's the ego's system. So the problem is when we beat ourselves up over it and we believe that we're wrong and we believe that it can't be corrected. That's what the ego wants us to really reinforce, that it can't be corrected in us and it cannot be corrected in others. And that's why we enjoy pointing the finger at others. And when we point the finger at others, we are saying that back to ourselves, that they can't be corrected, so therefore I can't be corrected. And a sin is a sin. Guilt is guilt. Guilty is guilty, and that's the end of it. And that's the ego's black and whiteness. And so when we have the Course in Miracles whereby it says, no, you can overlook the error and you can simply ask for the correction, it takes a lot to get the mind out of this black and white, good and bad, good and evil, right and wrong. It's a big wash in the mind, because of course we are the generator of judgment. And so we have to take them all back. Again, it comes back to the Tron movie. If you hadn't seen that, just type in Tron Legacy and go and see the end scene where he takes back his projection right into his mind, and then the light just shoots completely out of him. So that's the good thing. That's why I love A Course in Miracles, because it's so simple. It's just let go of all your judgments. That's it. There's nothing else to do. Just let go of all your judgments and just keep noticing your judgments. And yeah, that's what I've seen. It's like it's so easy just to let that door open and those judgments come through. And so I've seen that for myself. But it's like it's ready to be seen when it's ready to be seen. And that's why I think this is all about encouragement, like allowing up what is there truly, allowing those judgments to come to the surface. Because really, we don't actually have to dig for anything, because it's already there. But we're so fearful of looking at it that we keep it out of awareness. And then through inviting the Holy Spirit in, He is the healer. So He's going to start to widen your perception. And then you're going to start seeing the stuff that was actually always there. It's not like it's just happening now. It's like you're just carrying it with you, but you've made a pact not to look at it. And so when things come up, I can put my hand up and you can feel very, very wrong. And when you feel very, very wrong and you feel very, very guilty, it can be hard not to blame yourself and to go into the story or whatever it is, because that's what the ego's pathway is. Pathway of destruction. And it can be hard to keep the mind high. And so of course that's why you've actually joined here, isn't it? We only join together to keep our minds up. That's the only reason why I do this. This is why we do the movie gatherings. We don't do movie gatherings because we choose to watch movies together and sit and eat popcorn. We watch the movies so we can see what's in our mind, and so we can release that. And we can feel that wholeness again. And so yeah, I've just seen it's like waves. And I think you probably see this in your own mind. It's like it's seemingly something that you've been dealing with leaves you, and some joy comes in, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful. And then that same sort of pattern comes back, and you think, how the hell did that come back? I thought I was over that. And it's this next wash, and it can be discouraging. That's what the ego's game is. It's to discourage us, to stop us at all costs. But our task is to really look at it head on. Don't be fearful when you undo that door of judgment. Face it head on. Don't leave that room until you've seen it all. That's the quick way. That's what I see. And that's when you feel ready. That's not even of your doing. you will feel ready to rest in the room of judgment. It's kind of as simple as that. Certain things repel us, don't they? And you, oh my God, I can't bear this. And then over time, okay, then you start to look at it. So it is a process until it's not a process. And so that's what we're looking at. And for me, yeah, I can see, yeah, when the door of judgment's opened up, you know, this time it's like when the door of judgment opened up for me, and I can see, like, it's like so old. It's like to push things away, to avoid, to really be in the fuck you, really, to the world, you know. It's like I'm walking around with my middle finger up at the world. And then that is actually what's dominant, and I'm completely and utterly unaware of it. And then I start to see it. And then, of course, that's when the guilt comes, and it's like, God, why am I doing that? And that's really not it doesn't really matter why you're doing it, because there doesn't need to be an answer to that. The only thing you need to do is you need to see it for what it is, and you need to want to let it go. And that's what I've seen this time. I think I've held on to my fuck you to the world for for so long, and it's been a wash after wash after wash, seeing it more and more and more and more and more. And when I'm not in that, it's great, and when I'm in it, there's a lot of judgments that are coming. And I could see that before, that I was missing a lot of them. I just wasn't seeing that I was judging. You know, because a lot of that comes from I don't care. But it doesn't help me get in touch with what else is going on. And so that's what actually my prayer is, because I'm not aware of the full extent of what is there. But I know it's been there for so long. It's like it's normal. It's just perfectly normal. And so, yeah, it's just to face it head on now. It feels like what he says in the Course. It's children's toys that aren't satisfying any longer. And that's the only way I see that you can let go of these things. Because it's not that you're actually going to do anything. It's just that you just get fed up with it. And I think that's why I'm exposing it. And it's been interesting because a lot of the subjects that we've been talking about have been very deep. I've felt this very, very deep, full commitment. We talked about that two weeks ago. Strong, full commitment inside, like very, very deep. Beautiful, I don't know, some sort of strength was there. And then, of course, it's like, well, yeah, you were going along fine, but I'm just going to undo this door of judgment. That'll soon shut you up. Thank you very much. And it's like, oh, yeah, here we go again. Here it is. When you start to feel the strength and the depth, these doors are going to open. But my prayer now, with anything that comes up, is I want to be the happy learner. That's what's promised to me. That's what's promised me as the truth. And so I go with that. So that's the only thing that I say to myself when a door like this undoes. And I think, okay, well, I want to learn these lessons joyfully, and I don't know the way. I have lived with this, I have put up with it, and I don't know. I have no clue how to release this. So that's why I'm exposing it here, because I'm just putting it out there, because, you know, there's no need to be a prisoner. There's no need to be a prisoner of these things. There's no need to hide them. Because that's it. Because that's all the ego wants to do, is it wants to hide. And of course, and underneath that, there's a lot of shame. And so, and there's the unworthiness, and there's self-hatred. And so, of course, why would I want to sit here and expose all of that? It's the ego's trying to not, but it's like, well, of course, I wouldn't be thinking in this way if it wasn't protecting something. And so there's more self-hatred that needs to come to the surface. There's more unworthiness that needs to come to the surface. And so I don't know how to do that, and I don't know how to look upon it. And so that's what we join in that prayer. And so that's why I join deeply in your prayers with whatever's going on for you. This is what it's all about. I share to help you see what's in your mind, because it's just the mind, isn't it? And then we want to go beyond that, and that's the only reason why we're sharing it. I'm not sharing to strengthen any of this in my mind. It's just like, yeah, this is what this life's all about, to keep you small and to keep you in your box. And so Get Real is all about coming out of the box and being completely and utterly truthful. And whatever is in your way, you need to face it. And so that's what I feel, yeah, bring it on. Now's not the time for backing down. Now's the time for strength in the mind to face whatever it is head on and sit in the room of judgment. Because it was beautiful actually the other day, it's just reminding me of saying this, is I woke up in the morning and I was in my meditation, and it was beautiful. I sort of sunk into this place, and it was very, very peaceful. And then all of a sudden it felt like a complete prison. And I thought, wow, there's the perception around me is that I'm in this prison, and it felt so real. But the more and more I went into it, the more and more it just dissipated and just started to expand. And I just thought, wow, of course we start thinking, I thought, how long has that idea been in my mind that's just been keeping me from remembering myself? And it's just like, that's just another beautiful thing. It's just these things can be easily dismissed, but it's just another little piece of freedom. It's just another piece of the jigsaw puzzle that's just dropped and gently faded away. So never discount these experiences that you have. Those peaceful moments, they're all so important. That's where we stay, in that strength in our mind, to remember that. Because when the door of judgment opens, that's when you're going to need that strength. And that's what I remember when I very first got into the Course in Miracles, and it was so right. It was the best advice I ever got. And my friend told me, she said, well, it's all well and good when you're going along really well and you're enjoying your lessons and everything like that, and you're feeling in a good place, but it's when the shit comes up, it's when you really need your lessons, and that's where you've really got to focus, and you've really got to say no to it. And of course, I'm putting my hands up. It's not always easy, but that strength comes from within. The more and more, that's why it's like we're talking about the same things over and over again, because we just need to strengthen it in our own mind. And yeah, exactly. When it gets tough, it's like that's when you need everything. That's when you need to call upon everything. This need not be. And so yeah, that's always to choose again. I don't have to be choosing this. So everything that you're practicing when you're in that good space, that's why it's always important to remember that. I always remember, no, this is just fleeting. This is just passing. And there's so much more that's beyond all of this, beyond the rooms of judgment that you swore never to go in, and that are evil and dark and destructive. But it's like, no, when you get in there, they're just feelings and thoughts and beliefs. And they're really nothing. They're just uncomfortable. I mean, it's just uncomfortable feelings, isn't it? It just feels a bit uncomfortable, and I see that my mind just wants to go on to anything else. It wants to Okay, move on from something, do something else, whatever. Think about something else, but not focus your attention dead on what it is in your mind. But it's so enjoyable just to actually do that, and to just to let it be, because you don't even need to do anything. That's what I'm enjoying, and that's what I want to strengthen in my heart. That I want to see all of this. I want to see all of this fuck you that I've been generating through ego thinking. You know, and I think like that this month we have the theme of Beyond the Body. At the end of the month, at the start of the month actually, we'll have, of August, we will have a retreat on Beyond the Body. Very deep topic. That's the ultimate. It's the ultimate. It's what the course is teaching, isn't it? It's the whole thing. That's what we all want. That's what I want anyway. Beyond the body. I want the ultimate experience. I want the full revelation. I want to see it. So it's no wonder that there's been so much like hitting me. Feels like it's been hitting me, but I have been the happy learner. So that's where I can see the strength is. So it's like no wonder the ego is wanting to do everything that it possibly can to bring you away from being beyond the body. And I've had some beautiful sharings from some friends. My friend yesterday shared with me. She said, I have been suffering from migraines for most of her life, and she said she's had such a deep prayer in this beyond the body. She's like, yeah, really going for it, really strengthening it in her mind. And she had a prayer to look at this, these migraines and everything. And sure enough, through that, the experience came where, oh God, the migraine's coming on. And she could see how much it has stopped her from doing so many things that she really, really enjoys. And it's just been a complete sabotage in her own mind, really, of her joy. And now she could start to see that. And it came on really, really strong. And so she went to go and get her tablets, but she'd run out of tablets. And she's like, oh dear, what do I do now? So she realised, obviously, I've got to absolutely face this head on. And she realised in her own mind that she could choose again. And she just literally said to me, she chose again. She said, no, this need not be. This cannot be the truth of who I am. I know that I'm making this up. And so I don't want it anymore. It's not serving me. And she said within that moment, it just went boom. And just all of the symptoms and everything just completely and utterly left her in that second. And it just went away. Boom, it was done in a second. Because she'd actually listened to David last week on the Liar. That was right. Sickness is a defense against the truth. And you can choose the sickness or you can choose the truth. It's one or the other. You cannot choose both. And so she took that wholeheartedly, and there she is. She's a beautiful demonstration for us all. So I feel so grateful for that, to be able to share that with you, because I felt it so deeply in my heart. I just thought, there you go. There's just another witness that this need not be, that all this suffering is nonsense. Because of course, most of life the ego wants you to join in suffering, and we're here to say no, I am not going to join you in suffering. And so my friend, when I have a call with her, she said, I've got my miracles to share with you. I was like, okay, perfect. And then we're just in the joy, and now I get to share that with everyone. So that's just the gift. That's just the gift, and just remembering that's the power of your own mind. That's my mind. That's the mind. That just boom. That's your mind, whereby you chose to say no to sickness and yes to truth. So you can take that deeply in your heart now because there's nothing outside. You're hearing this, it's your experience. And yeah, it's been interesting for me too, actually, because I had this prayer. I would have said that I suffer from hay fever, and it's been, I don't know, since I was a child. I don't know why it's so funny. And it's just getting worse. Someone said, oh, you'll grow out of it, but it's like, Christ, I ain't growing out of it, it's getting worse. And so I have no idea how it all stopped or whatever. But I had this prayer, and it was about, how long ago was it? It was probably about 3 months ago now. And I was sitting there in my prayer, and I just was sitting there and I just said, this is not helpful. This is not helpful. My nose is running, my eyes get sore, my mouth gets itchy. By 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I feel tired. I need to lie down, and it's hard for me to get back up. My brain feels foggy. So there's all these sort of symptoms that I have with it. And I've just been I've looked at it, and like I haven't really been able to get anywhere of like what it actually is that I'm fearful of or whatever, or that I'm projecting. There was never any thought with it. And so it was almost given up. And of course, my friend once said to me, she said, well, you know, the problem with something like that is where it doesn't actually like cripple you in some respects. It's like you don't give it the attention that you need. And I said, yeah, exactly. It's just, oh, well, you just cope with it. You just live with it. And again, that's what the ego wants. But in this prayer, I just thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to ask. So I sit there in my prayer and I just ask. I said, am I going to live with this for the rest of my life? Just thought, let's just put it out there. And I get no. I was like, no, okay, cool. And so it's going to be healed. Yes, it's going to be healed. So great. And that was I guess that was the first time where I felt it inside, and I thought, you're right, because I was praying and saying, I can't see how this is helpful to anything that I'm doing. It's just not helpful to anyone. It's not helpful to me. And so, and this can't be the truth. So I'm choosing something that I just can't see. I just need complete and utter help. And I don't know what I've done to heal it. It's just happened. And so now we've just had a rainy season, and you know, the grass is being cut and everything like that, and it's been like really, really strange for me, because it's like for the first time I'm smelling all these things. I'm like smelling flowers and things, and then like not affecting me. And I'm just like, wow, this is like another world I opened up. And it feels like there's some sort of strength in my mind. And of course, the ego wants to keep saying to me, it's going to affect you, it's going to affect you. But there's some sort of strength in my mind by saying, no, this just need not be. It's just, I'm just making it up. So it's been really kind of interesting that these certain like smells that are coming over, where my nose would be so bunged up that I couldn't smell anything, because it would just affect my sinuses seemingly. And now it's like all these sort of like smells are coming my way, and I'm like, God, I haven't smelt this in a long, long time. But again, I don't know how that happened, so I can't tell you the formula. But I think it's this determination, as I started with. It's like I must have been determined to undo that door. And it's like, this perception is not right. I need to look beyond this door. I need to see into this room, because I am judging something. I am believing something about myself. There is this littleness. There is this belief in suffering and sickness and death, and that I just need to face it. And so I feel like this is what this is all about together. I've actually had a lot of people messaging me about their suffering, and each call has gone exactly the same way. Well, I just couldn't see it. I just couldn't see what they were talking about. They're trying to tell me that they're knocking at death's door and they've got coronavirus and everything. And yeah, it's just a rise, just rise from the tomb. But it was so funny to see all of these things, and every single lesson was exactly the same. It was like, well, you've forgotten your joy, haven't you? And it's like, all of a sudden, it's like we think that we're talking about these issues, and it's like, well, no, surely this is all about joy, isn't it? That's what we're doing, aren't we? This is what's promised us. So clearly you've chosen something other than joy. And then we are in that experience together. And then we're in the joy. Then we've transcended whatever we thought was happening. And so that's what we're doing now. That's why we have these demonstrations, like my friend just messaging me, and I can take that deeply in my heart and say, yeah, I can transcend that. And so this is for you. This is a deep message for you as well. To say whatever's there in your mind can be left now. You don't have to wait. We don't have to wait for this. This is what we're talking about. We're clearing everything completely and utterly in the present moment. And in the present moment, there is no need for healing. There's nothing to heal. Of course, that's the joke of A Course in Miracles. He tells us it's a journey of healing. But how can you heal what's already been healed? That's the whole point. It's just a choice. It's just a choice in the mind to choose the truth, to choose the light in your mind that illumines everything and dispels everything that is not that. So yeah, that's what we're joining in today. Yeah, I feel so grateful for this. I feel so grateful that I get to do this, because I can just feel the strength which has come back in my mind and the determination. So yeah, that's what it's all about. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to inspire. That's the only job. That's my job on Seeming Earth, just to inspire. Let's inspire miracles. So yeah, let's expect miracles. And thank you as always for joining me. It's always a pleasure. And I just feel it. Even though I can't see you, I just feel it in my heart. I just feel always when I sit at this beautiful connection. So I want to say thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for joining me in that. And yeah, I look forward to next week. So let's expect miracles. Let's join in that truth and let's transcend. And by the way, it's going to be very deep actually these next 2 weeks. I can assure you of that. We've got 2 weeks until the Beyond the Body retreat. And so I'm pretty sure these next movie gatherings, which start, they're on Wednesdays in wherever, what are we called? South America, whatever it is. And then in Europe, you can watch them on Thursdays. So I highly recommend. It's going to be very deep. So if you haven't been, you can check it out. I'll put some links in when I put everything up for you, okay? Okay, so many blessings, lots of love, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.